The Grand Finals is set at the VCT Madrid tournament. We now know both teams participating in the Grand Finals, and that will be Gen G and Sentinels with their win over Paper X today. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about the match they have today, the lower finals of the VCT Madrid tournament, which took place between Paper X and Sentinels, which did prove to be a very competitive and very good match. Even though it was a 3-1 win on the side of Sentinels, it wasn't a totally lopsided match or anything. Paper X did take one map. It might not be the map that you're expecting if you haven't seen the match, but Sentinels did get it done. They did prove that they could weather the storm that is the W gaming style that Paper X plays. This could have been a 3-0, but Paper X did play quite well today. They just couldn't get over the hump and beat Sentinels. Sentinels looked like they were pretty angry from yesterday's result. Ten's looking a lot better. Zekin looking insane. Junk UT having a great game as well. And on the side of Paper X, something was fantastic. Monyet had some really good moments, but overall the team just could not counter what Sentinels had in store. So looking at this match on VLR, we can see that Sentinels did end up banning Breeze. Not really a surprise from yesterday's result, even though Kaplan made a joke during one of the pregame interviews with one of the interviewers when they were walking into the stadium. He made a joke that he was going to make his team swim home if they lost, and also saying that he was going to double down and pick Breeze. Clearly he was annoyed with all the discussion yesterday and all the questions he got about the map, because he got a lot of slack online from people and interviewers as well, saying, why'd you let Breeze through? Why'd you let that map go? And again, I don't really think it was that bad of an idea. It didn't go in their favor against Gen G, but clearly they're not great on that map. But they felt like today was not the day to try and fix their problems on Breeze. We'll probably see it tomorrow with Gen G having the map pick, but they did end up banning it. PRX banned Icebox, a bit surprising there. I know they're not super good on that map so far, but Icebox isn't one of Sentinel's best maps, so maybe there could have been some counterplay there, but it doesn't really matter overall. Sen then picked Lotus. Honestly, if I was PRX, I probably would have banned Lotus. Lotus is not been a good map for them this tournament. They did do better on that map today than they did in previous matches, but they haven't been great on the map and they still lost. PRX then picked Ascent, which I'm not too surprised on. Sentinels have looked up and down on that map, and Paper X were able to beat both Loud and Carmine Corp on that map. Did not go in their favor today though. Sen then of course picked Split, which didn't go the way of them actually. They did end up losing that map, being the only map that Paper X won, which was quite a surprise. They lost against Gen G on Split yesterday, and now they lost against Paper X. They still won this match, so it might not be as much of a discussion point, but it is kind of weird that a map that they looked so incredibly dominant on, it looked like nobody could beat them on Split. Now all of a sudden they've lost 2 in a row on it. So it's probably going to be in the map pool tomorrow, so we'll see if they can find a way to fix their problems, because they need to if they're going to be able to win that match. PRX then picked Sunset, which could be seen as a good or bad idea. It did not end up going in their favor, but Sentinels and Paper X are two teams that are very good on Sunset, so it was interesting to see that matchup. And then Bind was the last one. We would not make it there. So starting with Lotus, it was a pretty close match. As I said, Paper X did fix some of the problems that they were having on this map, but they still end the tournament going 0-4 on this map. They did take this one to overtime. They had a pretty good win streak in the first half after Sen won the first 4. They won 6 rounds in a row to take the lead 6-4, but then Sen brought it back for the last 2 of the first half. Paper X then win the pistol and the bonus, so Paper X did have the lead a couple times during this map. It just ended up not ending in the way that they would have wanted. Back and forth second half ends up with Paper X winning the last 2 to avoid that match point loss, and then Sentinels won the only 2 rounds of overtime, looking very commanding in those 2 rounds. It just seemed like Paper X that were going for that aggressive style, and Sentinels were able to weather that storm and match it. In that overtime, they played quite aggressive themselves, ended up getting on site really quick, and then doing really good against Paper X's attack. So Sentinels not falling into the trap that teams like Loud did against Paper X, where they allowed them to play their game and dictate the play. They were able to push back, be aggressive themselves, and be really smart about it. Quick look at the stats here. We had Zekin with a 1.55 VLR rating, going 32-16-2, plus 16 kill death differential. Very good there. Tens had a great map as well, 1.38 with a 25-16-15, plus 9 there. John QT on the Viper with 1.33, 19-13-14. Saucy with 0.93, 13-17-14, and Zelsis with a 0.88, 13-18-8. So solid numbers overall for Sentinels, where on the Paper X side, it's not as good of a story. Something with the best on the first map going 0.99, 21-18-1 with plus 3. Mind Freak as well as the rest of the team going negative with a 0.88 rating, 20, 21-4. Divide with a 0.88 as well, going 11, 17, and 9. Forsaken 0.75, 16, 21, and 9. Monyet Rough first map for him, 0.46, pretty low there with a 12, 25, and 2. So this match did go into overtime, so it was really close, but when you look at these macro stats, it looks like Sentinels definitely had their number for a lot of it. Moving on to Ascent, which was PaperX's map pick, it did go in the way of Sentinels, not in the way that PaperX would have wanted. 13-6 was the final score. Sentinels went on a crazy win streak at the end of the first half and then into the second half to basically sweep that attack side. Bit of a back and forth spot with it being 4-2 by the end of the 6th round, and then PaperX won 4 in a row, then Sentinels win the last 2 and then just storm their way to take the map. So Sentinels having their Ascent looking a lot cleaner than previous matches. Zekin with a 1.63 going 25, 10, and 3. Tens with a 1.33 going 16, 11, and 13. Saucy with a 1.27, 14, 10, and 6. John QT with a 1.25, 13, 8, and 4. And Zelsus with a 1.01 rating, 7, 12, and 19. On the PaperX side, something with a 0.83 going 8, 14, and 6, not what you want from him. Forsaken, rough match as well, 0.81 going 13, 14, and 6. Monnier, 0.81, 13, 17, and 2. Mind Freak is 0.80, 12, 13, and 3. Device 0.48 going 5, 17, and 6. So really rough match for PaperX there. Device especially having a bad rating and a bad kill def differential. So again, did not go in the way that they would have wanted to, especially being their map pick. But PaperX would find a way to prevent the sweep by beating Sentinels on split 13-5. This was extremely impressive on the PaperX side. I know Sentinels lost on this map yesterday, but it was expected that they would probably be able to bounce back. But it looks like Sentinels are struggling on the map that looked like their best map, looked like they owned the map, being the best in the world at it. Now they've lost to Gen G and now PRX. PaperX won the pistol, Sentinels got the lead, but PaperX ended up taking most of that first half, and then Sentinels only getting 1 round win on their defense half. That's pretty rough. PaperX just looking a lot more in control, a lot more confident, a lot smarter with their aggressive play, and Sentinels just not looking as confident on the map, maybe a bit shaken from losing to Gen G on it yesterday. It just seems like when Sentinels is playing with a lot of confidence, they can beat anybody, but when they kind of face adversity, it can get a little bit shaky for them. They can be better than any other team in the entire world, but if they're not playing confidently, if they're getting a little bit nervous, things like this can happen. Fortunately for them, it didn't tank their series, and they did end up winning, but it is still concerning that we're seeing the map that they were best on now looking like maybe one of their worst, and I do expect them to look a lot better on this map in the future, and you know, you can't always go flawless on a map, but still, they're going to have to clean some things up for tomorrow. Minuses across the board for the kill def differential. I'll be a little bit quicker on the stats now. Zekin being the best player on Sentinels, going 0.80, 13, 17, and 6. Tens with a rough third map with a 0.49 going 10, 18, and 7, and notably John QT and Zelsus also having rough matches. On the PaperX side, we saw a dominant performance by Monnier, going 1.61 on the VLR rating, going 24, 10, and 3. He looked very good on this map. Was surprising to see him back on the Raze on this map because I believe against Gen G, they put him on the Omen, or it might have been against Sloud, I forget. But either way, they took him off of Raze a bit on this map, but they put him back on it, which was pretty surprising. We saw Forsaken on the Sky, and he did do well there, going 15, 12, and 14. Something not having a great map this one, going 12, 12, and 5, but his teammates picked it up for them, and overall Something was probably PaperX's best player consistently throughout this match. Unfortunately, on PaperX's second map pick, this would spell the end for their tournament on Sunset, with Sentinels winning this one 13-3. Really good start on the first half for Sentinels, making it 9-3 at the half. That curse no longer exists, and they did win 8 in a row to finish off the match and finish off PaperX's, dashing one of the Pacific team's hopes at winning this tournament. Dominant numbers across the board for Sentinels, most notably Tens with a fantastic last map with a rating of 1.91, going 22, 9, and 10 with a plus 13 kill differential on that Omen. What was interesting about Tens is I believe for 2 maps he was the last player alive for Sentinels to win that map. It was on Sunset and then it was on Ascent as well, where he got the final kill to take the map. So Tens, he had a bad match yesterday. Apparently Kaide was having some health problems. She was in the hospital. It was food poisoning or something, so that definitely shook him. But Kaide was better today, so he didn't have that distraction. And, you know, absolute props to Tens for even playing that match yesterday. I can't imagine going through something like that when, you know, the person you love your fiance is in the hospital while you're trying to be in a ultra competitive environment where all these eyes are on you and everyone's calling you washed when you don't look good. And it was unfortunate for Tens yesterday, but he absolutely bounced back today, and this stat line shows you how. Second had the second most amount of kills with a 1.28 rating, going 18, 12, and 2, plus 6 there. And on the Paper X side, Moniet had the most kills with 11, 15, and 3. Something on the Gecko was their best player with a rating of 0.82, but he only went 10, 15, and 8, so didn't really matter for them. So unfortunate end to this tournament for Paper X. If you're a Paper X fan, are you proud of this team for doing this, for getting to third place, top 4, top 3 at a tournament without Jing, or are you still disappointed that this team still can't seem to win that tournament? It has been elusive to this point for them. They've been close a lot of times at this point. They've been in the top 3, they've made it to grand finals. They just can't seem to get over the hump and win in those really important matches. So unfortunate for them. I was saying that this tournament was probably going to be Paper X's best chance to win a tournament this year. I do still kind of believe that, just because this tournament had the least amount of teams in any VCT tournament, and maybe as the year goes along we see teams like Gen G look a lot better than them. We've already seen that. Maybe some other teams in the Pacific start to learn them better. Maybe at the international stage other teams can be able to upset them. We've seen them lose against some teams that they probably should beat, EDG for example. But this team is still dangerous. I do still hope that they can win a tournament at some point in the future. I was hoping that they would be the first team from the Pacific to win a tournament, but it looks like that might be Gen G, because the grand finals do happen tomorrow. It is Gen G versus Sentinels. So this is the upper final rematch. Unlike that match, this is a best of 5. So Gen G will get the advantage in the map picks. They get the advantage in the map picks and the map bans. So we'll see how this goes for Sentinels. We'll probably see Split again. We'll probably see Breeze again. So Sentinels, this is their best challenge yet. This is their first international tournament since 2021, so extremely proud of what this team has been able to do thus far. If it ends in grand finals, if they don't lose, I think they can win a tournament in the future. It just looks like right now Gen G is just this juggernaut, but they can bounce back. We've seen how they responded to losing against teams in the past, Loud as an example of that. But for Pacific, it looks like Gen G very well could be that first team from that region to take an international tournament. And who would have guessed that even like a couple months ago? So really good performance by them so far. This is going to be an insane grand final tomorrow. I do kind of expect it to go to 5 maps. That would be absolutely amazing. I would love that. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe it ends up being lopsided. Grand finals, they've been up and down. But overall, should be a fantastic match. Let me know what you guys thought of the match with Sentinels versus Paper X in the comment section down below. Who do you think takes grand finals tomorrow? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be making a video about that match as well after it concludes. So stay tuned for that. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.